The title might not make much sense. You know, it's kind of counterintuitive. Why would you want advice from an Overwatch player? But I'm sure that if you stick around, you'll learn something or reinforce something that you already know that is meaningful. My Overwatch was taking forever to update. That had some April Fool's thing or whatever. So I got some Helldivers gameplay in the back. It's kind of unfortunate that I couldn't get Overwatch gameplay because, you know, the whole thumbnail and the Winston and stuff like that. But we roll, right? So there's 5 basic pieces of advice I want to give today. Now, when I say basic, I mean that they are either common knowledge that many either don't care about or don't fully understand the effects of, or they aren't hyper specific. Like, for example, I'm not going to talk about this in the video, but I wouldn't talk about the most optimal way to build muscle, rather how to get consistent and progress in the gym, right? So I'm not going to go hyper specific. I'm kind of going for this video to have broad life lessons instead of hyper specific lessons. You get what I'm saying? This video is kind of just meant to get you into the service level of improvement so that way you can get an understanding of what it's like and what parts about yourself you want to develop the most. And then you can kind of find the hyper specific areas you want to go in yourself. I don't have to like teach you that stuff. With that exposition out the way, the first piece of advice I want to give is to live your own life. Don't watch someone else's. And what I mean by that is many of us, myself included, watch content for a large portion of our day. We are living a large portion of our lives watching other people we will never meet live theirs. Another way to say this is kind of like we are consuming what others are giving us rather than what we can give ourselves. Like, for instance, I woke up a couple of days ago, I think, and I just got on YouTube. I took a shower and then just started watching YouTube, like while I was brushing my teeth. And it's like after that, I started just watching YouTube in my, like, I was just laying down in my bed. Like, I don't even know what I was doing. And it's kind of like this, right? I woke up at 8 o'clock and I stopped watching YouTube at like 9:30. So I really didn't even live that hour and a half of my life because I wasn't conscious of it. I wasn't in the moment. I wasn't present. I was just watching someone else's content instead of consuming the content in my room, for instance. You get what I'm saying? It just kind of felt like I zapped away an hour and a half of my spring break for like no reason. It's like I didn't really get to live that. You get what I'm saying? So make an effort to keep content consumption to a minimum. No, it's not going to be an instant change. I understand that. I myself cannot do this. Like I can snap my fingers. I can't do that and just make a big change. But limiting your time over a period of time will be a net benefit to your life, right? Now, the next 2 things I want to talk about is sunlight and sleep, right? And I've been trying to value these more in my life, and here's why. Because they are both very crucial for your health. I'm going to kind of pair these 2 together because, like I said, they're both for your health. My advice for these 2 is try to wake up and get outside soon afterwards, right? Getting sunlight in the morning is really good for you. And I'm reading this book. I don't know where it is right now, but it's called Why We Sleep. It's by this PhD guy. I don't know his name. I'll put it on the screen or whatever. But he knows a lot about sleep. He's really like prestigious in his field. And I'm only like in the 3rd chapter, but he's talking about how sunlight helps our bodies adjust their cycle, our circadian rhythm, to align with the sun cycle or something like that. And we're supposed to be awake during the day. So it's just a very healthy thing to get sunlight, especially in the morning. And there's a lot of other reasons, like I was saying, I don't know all of them, but sunlight is just so good for you. So once again, get outside and make sure you do it, especially in the morning. And also, we're talking about the second part, which is sleep. And sleep, just to kind of touch on that, I said both of them. Sleep is probably just as important, if not more so, than sunlight. Getting quality sleep powers pretty much everything in our bodies, right? Especially if you're around my age. I'm like 16 right now and I'm still growing. Sleep is when growth hormone is most excreted. So try to get sleep before 10 p.m. and try to get between 6 to 8 hours every night. Sleeping too much is bad. Not sleeping enough is bad. So just try to get within that zone. Without sleep, like imagine a video game, we're pretty much nerfed. Like if you played Overwatch, probably played it before because you clicked on this video. Imagine Ana's like grenade, right? You just take a lot more damage without it. We're like nerfed when we don't have sleep, but with it, we can reach our full potential. So let me just rephrase. I guess I can put this in a whole Overwatch example. Not getting enough sleep or getting bad sleep or just no sleep at all is like an Ana nade, but getting a lot of sleep is kind of like Zenyatta's ult, right? It sounds stupid, but I guess it's a good example. Or you could say Ana's ultimate, where she like makes you powered up and stuff. I don't know. I'm just giving an example. My next piece of advice I want to give is to tell you that you should really focus on self-control, right? To get to a really high level in anything, I think self-control is like almost needed. Whether it's to be stopping yourself from doing certain things, making yourself do certain things like discipline, getting yourself to be optimistic and having other mindsets that set you up for success, the more you can control yourself, the more you can be. When you can get yourself to do whatever you think is best, you can make a lot of progress, right? And I'm not even at this point yet. Like I've been trying to have self-control for years and I haven't like I'm not the master, like you know what I'm saying? I'm not like the that one dude from Ninjago who's like an all white. I'm not him, right? But I can just say that self-control, even if you don't have a lot of it, is so crucial. So try to focus on building that self-control. For me, I think I started out with like small actions like, no, I'm not gonna eat that candy today. No, I'm not going to do that today. I'm not gonna scroll. I'm not gonna do that. And then I slowly built my self-control up. It's kind of like if you've been to the gym before, working out a muscle. The more you work it out, the more you practice self-control, the stronger you get and the more self-control you have. So that's how you can build it. But yeah, just try and chase self-control. And when you can get yourself to do whatever you want, or rather like you can do things that you may not want to do or that may be uncomfortable. When you can get yourself to do those things, you can make so much progress and you can be like so productive, right? It's such a good thing to have self-control. So chase that. My final piece of advice I have to give is to chase fulfillment over happiness, right? Happiness, it's a good thing to have, but there are things that grant you happiness that are not actually good for you, right? Fulfillment, on the other hand, comes from achieving your goals, from acting on what you feel your purpose is, right? So I'd say happiness, it's good, but there's things like I'm sure a lot of people that drink all the time are happy, right? They like drinking, that gives them happiness. However, we can both agree that's not good for your health, right? So happiness, it's cool to have, but you must understand that it's not the highest form of what we can have, right? And I think that's what fulfillment is. So make some goals, right? Find some things that make you get up every day and try to accomplish them, right? And when you do, you get a deeper feeling than happiness. You develop as a person and you also get to feel great doing so. Making these videos for myself gives me a sense of fulfillment. And I'm not saying like I'm a millionaire from this or anything, but I can kind of feel a little bit of what fulfillment is really like, and I can tell you that happiness is nice, but fulfillment is much better. So yeah, but that's pretty much my life advice, my basic life advice from an Overwatch player. Again, that's counterintuitive, but hopefully you trust me enough to take some of it. But I'd like to say before I end this video that I make self-improvement content, and I'm starting to branch out. I want to talk about anime. I want to talk about games more. So if that interests you, subscribe so you can see me again. Win-win. But that's all I got. If you'd like to learn how to be saved, I have a video on the left side of the screen. And if you'd like to learn how to, or not learn, but if you'd like to watch one of the anime videos I was talking about, I do have a playlist on the right. Thank you for watching, and praise God.